What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today is not the spiciest of days, but we've got some interesting things to take a look at and hopefully find a little edge on this market. The question on my mind, or I guess everyone's mind, who is selling? Who is buying? We have to take a look at GBTC and the ETFs to get that. And we're going to take a look at it, basically try to figure out how long this selling pressure can last. We're going to then look at the short-term chart for Bitcoin, try to set up a trade. Then we're going to look at the macro. So settle in, guys. Smash those likes and subscribes. There's less than 8,000. That's right. Spots in the OG under 100K Tom Crown Club. Grab your spot today by smashing that subscribe button. I got a haircut. What do you guys think? You can see my scalp. Let's get into it. There's a bunch of different tools to use, but I've been struggling to find the best one. So if you guys do have a great source for these ETFs, please let me know. I'm still looking for one. At the moment, basically, I'm using Blockworks, I'm using a bunch of other things, trying to piece stuff together, but none of them are really laid out nicely in a way that's easy to comprehend. So that brings me to, I believe this is, I don't remember his name. Somebody, Seifert, posted this on Twitter. And this is going to be pretty important stuff here. We have all the Bitcoin ETFs over here, total volume over the 8 days, asset flows, etc. So you have something not so great that happened yesterday. Over the course of the week since the ETFs came out, we've seen price sell off. Nobody wanted that to happen. But we're seeing a rotation of capital out of GBTC, putting downside pressure on the market, and then it's being scooped up by the ETFs. However, yesterday closed, to my knowledge, the first day where it wasn't exactly so bullish. We had a total flow of negative 106 million, which isn't that huge in the realm of things. The total time the ETFs have traded, they are net positive, meaning they have absorbed more Bitcoin than GBTC has lost. But on yesterday's close, for the first day, we saw the inflows, meaning the purchases from the ETFs being iShares, Fidelity, Bitwise, ARK, etc., come just shy of the outflows of GBTC. Looking over here, it looks like 515 million out from GBTC and only 409 million in. I don't view these necessarily as bearish. It certainly is bearish when the inflows don't match the outflows. That's not a good setup. But this rotation of capital is really just investors or trapped liquidity in GBTC looking for a new home and finding that home in one of the new ETFs at a heavily discounted rate. This is definitely something we're going to keep an eye on. I do believe Grayscale had its biggest outflow yesterday with like 16,000 Bitcoin. To put this in perspective, GBTC started with 620,000 Bitcoin. I know that's a ton. That's a ton. I believe at this point they are now down to about 520, 510, which means in roughly a week of trading, we have seen GBTC lose 100,000 out of 600,000 Bitcoin. That's a lot. There's a lot of rotation on that capital. About 1/6 of their total trust. So if we maybe play it that way, we can say, okay, if that continues to happen in the next few weeks, we may see GBTC reach no Bitcoin in as little as, 6 traded weeks? I wouldn't hold my breath on this. I think that that's really aggressive to assume. I think what we're going to see is a slow unwinding. Certainly we'll have days with bigger outflows, bigger inflows, but I think that we're going to see a pretty steady bleed on GBTC, which likely will trickle off as it gets lower. The more energetic people jumping out earlier and kind of the laggers figuring it out as time goes on. There's really two outcomes. One, GBTC changes its fee. It could change its fee structure and that could stop the bleeding in this rotation. I'm not really confident on that either. I know that Grayscale is in a weird position. Or we'll just see this all unwind over time and maybe it will, we'll have to do it together. It's not going to be a great time. It's going to be boring. Going to be bleedy. Some of these other sites, I think they might have some good info. Here we go. On CoinGlass, this is a nice little snippet for GBTC, we can see the 1-day change minus 16,000 Bitcoin. That is so freaking much Bitcoin. Over the last 30 days, maybe I overestimated. I thought they had 620. Now they have like 520. Oh well. 30-day change minus 55,000 Bitcoin. Maybe that's a more accurate number. And this is kind of what I mean. I keep finding this data, but it's presented differently and the formats are different, and they're kind of like, this one is highlighting its Bitcoin value outflow, whereas the previous one was in millions of dollars. Really confusing. If you guys have the best source, I'm still looking for it. Let me know. And I will, I don't know, give you a high five. That's right. One whole high five. Speaking of high fives, this high five goes out to DUSL John S. Cooten. What's up, my guy? Thank you for subscribing. Breaking the streams, scribe-ginity for today. You demand. Be like Diesel. Diesel? I don't know. You're the man. Let me see. Bloomberg analyst Eric Balchunas, in an attempt to gauge market expectations, conducted a poll which indicated varied options on the future scale of GBTC's outflows. Basically asking, GBTC has bled 13% of its shares. Okay, so 13%. That is closer to like 1 in 8. Whatever. How much do you think that number goes before the mass exodus stops? There's 15 minutes left in this poll. I wonder what happens if I click it. Of course, it brings me a Twitter. Let's see. There we go. I just randomly voted to get this up. Looks like 35 to 50%. I think that makes sense. It's along the lines of, as this goes on, that outward or that downward momentum is likely to chill, likely to slow down, and that will relieve some of the selling pressure. This is by BitMEX. This one is another like ADD nightmare for me. There's way too many numbers, a bunch of NAs and stuff. Like, my brain can't focus on this. But I do like they have it day by day here. You can't actually see it. Let me make it smaller. They have it day by day here. You can see Professor Beans thinks there's someone at the door. Detailing it. This is the stuff to watch. I hate that this is kind of where the market's at right now, but this is it. Outside of this, there's really no other catalyst going on. There's the inflows from the ETF, the outflows from GBTC, and prices meeting us somewhere in the middle, unfortunately. I want to look at some trending coins, I guess, because you guys like trending coins. It looks like Manta, never heard of it, is up. Magic Square is up. TIA. It's amazing how long TIA has spent in the trending cryptocurrencies. It's been like weeks now. I don't think it's hit a high in a little bit. We'll check in on that. Pith continues to mark on this chart. Pondy Coin, Tectum, that one we've looked at before. SEY, Tau, SEI, Solana, a lot of the regular names. We'll definitely look at a bunch of these altcoins today. But first, we're going to take like a little zoomed out look, just a brief catch up on what's happened on the chart. Yesterday, we did hit a low of about 38.5. I should go to the chart that I have this marked on, huh? Here we go. 38.5. Wrapping up the day, buyers came in before close and price settled at 39.5.5. Today, we have moved higher. Another green candle, but just looking at this doesn't look so hot, does it? Without doing any analysis whatsoever, just speaking from just experience, just looking at these candles. No indicators, no patterns, no nothing, just looking at it. To me, this looks like something that does want to retrace up here. I know I keep saying that, it hasn't happened, but I'm still going to bet it does. Rarely in Bitcoin's history have I ever seen something never seen Bitcoin do something like this. It doesn't tend to just hit the one high and fall down. Typically, we look for a lower high, a break of market structure, and that usually kicks off further downside. Now, where it's at right now, I can't say I love it. This bleeding has not been met with buyers, and something kind of tells me that I think buyers are waiting for this GBTC issue to be solved. They don't want to make their orders and just get dumped on, understandably. But today has done something kind of nice, and we're going to highlight this, a little bit of bullishness for y'all. On today's candle, we have traded down almost exactly to yesterday's open, potentially filling the fair value gap that would have been there on the day. That's a good climb. That's a good way to start a climb. If we invert our chart here, this starts to look like a pattern I know people at home recognize. I think we actually we might have talked about this. No, because this was Tuesday. All right, now, because it's Wednesday today. We could be looking at a head and shoulders here. Luckily, the chart is inverted. So that would be an inverse head and shoulders. And that is a good thing to start seeing if we are looking for those upside moves. 42.2, the number in the sand for this year. That was our yearly open. This is the number we're trying to retake by the end of the month to smooth things out. It does seem like we're lacking bids, but this is starting to look okay. I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to make big bets on this or something like that. But hey, at least we're seeing a little bit of upside action. We have higher lows and higher highs as price has moved back a little bit from that low. Volume looking okay, not nearly what I would have liked to see for like a capitulation bottom. This might suggest for today that we see an upside move again, but I'm not super excited about it. I am bullish. I'm always bullish, but at this point in time, I'm not really looking for too much upside in the short term. I would love to be wrong. Hopefully I am wrong, but at the moment, this is looking like we might spend some time just trading here sideways. If we look back to the dumps that we've seen in the last year or even 2 years, that's kind of par for the course. We've seen Bitcoin make a move, fall back down, and trade sideways for a very long time. We kind of thought that behavior was behind us after October, after retaking the 200-week, but it wasn't. We had less serious versions of this, but this seems to be what we're seeing. These moves kind of maybe a week or two in between, then Bitcoin finally makes a decision and does something. An interesting fact that I'm going to pull up for you guys. So right here, the day that the ETF started on the 11th versus right now, there's a correlation here. Does anybody know it? Let me pull the chat up. Before I say it, does anybody know? I'd be surprised. There's something, I don't know if correlation's the word. Pattern, connection, something like that. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with time, not price. I'll give you like 30 seconds. Bitcoin's boring these days, General. It has been for the last week or two. Yes, I agree. I guess it's over. It's over, fam. Going to zero. Nah, this is just par for the course. I don't know if anybody's going to get it. I don't know, man. Anybody? I'll give you guys like 30 more seconds. Also, I'm going to start a poll. Hold on a sec, and I'll give you time to reply. Okay. Here we are. There we are. To the real questions, guys. Poll in the chat. New haircut. Liking it, not liking it. I just told the lady at the shop, I was like, just give me something good. And this is what you came up with. I don't hate it. I kind of like it, but I don't know what you guys think. Gold ETF, full moon. Josh Breen, right there, my friend. I'm surprised anybody's mind is there at this moment. So interesting. I could pull up an indicator to do this for me, but I'm not going to. Did you just freeze on me, TradingView, or? Oh, weird. They changed the way that works. All right. On the day the ETF came out, we had a new moon. Today, or I guess tomorrow. I don't know if it's like today, tomorrow, or the day before. I don't know which one. Roughly right about now, new moon. No, I'm not saying you should trade based on the moons, though it is interesting, the correlation. But there's more to this than simply new moon, full moon, right? See the timing. There we are. I guess it's at the end of the day today, 14 days. Obviously, the moon cycle is 14 days or 28 days total, but there's also other elements that are related to 14 days here. One, that's 2 weeks. So 2 weekly candles pass between each moon phase. Cool. But more importantly, Bitcoin's difficulty adjustment roughly every 14 days. Kind of interesting. We do see Bitcoin respond to difficulty adjustments, at least in the past. We have even seen it suggest reversals, trend reversals. I don't know what to do with this. I just realized this last night. I was like, wait, it's going to be a full moon? Wasn't it just like a new moon right when the ETF happened? And it did, which is interesting because you can say this is worthless information, and I'm not going to argue that with you, but it's interesting. There's not much else to talk about. But it's interesting because we do want to say, oh, well, new moons mean this or full moons mean that. And maybe it's not as deep as that. Maybe it's just this. Roughly every 2 weeks, we see some kind of trend change. I think that's the safest way to put it. Whether it has anything to do with the moon, probably not. I mean, who knows? Maybe. I don't know. But it's an interesting thing. This could be suggesting that locally, very locally, and maybe for the next 2 weeks, that we might be looking for what we were talking about earlier, that retracement back up, potentially testing a lower high and cementing a more bearish structure. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Fingers crossed it just blasts through and we keep going throughout the end of the year. But just interesting stuff to think about. You'd be surprised once you start kind of seeing the 2 week kind of cycle. You can't unsee it. That being said, I may not be thinking or looking for upside price action in the short term, but right now is a great time to start DCAing Bitcoin. I can't push that enough. Even if the highs aren't in, even if we're going higher, this is such a good time. Such a good time to start DCAing. It's the best way to enter crypto. There's no safer way. There's no way that's been more successful in the past that I've seen over a very large sample size of people trying. Consider it. I know it's not sexy. It's not interesting. But it's a great time. You can weather this storm. In fact, if you start DCAing, you can root for price to go down. You actually are at advantage if you're DCAing and your price is going down. It's going to lower your cost average, and when the price comes back up, you'll be in higher profit, bigger P&L, etc. etc. All right. Put that in your cap and smoke it for today. I love that full moon. Full moon, baby. What do you guys think? 1 in chat if you like full moons. 2 in chat if you don't. You're back. Welcome back. DC your way to Lambo, very sexy. True that, Randy. The method, maybe not so sexy, but the result, ooh, it does not get better. Oh yeah, so fresh, so clean. You can see my scalp, Steve-O. Got the new haircut, man. All right, we got some ones. We got a 12 by pickle, completely ignoring the the syntax of the vote. I'm just kidding, man. Let's take a peek. So I said lower time frame analysis. Let's drop down to very low time frames. Full bowl, says Ravi. That's right, buddy. Curb shifter, you're a werewolf. I'm a vampire. We can't be friends. Or we can be friends. I don't know how that works anymore. 3, Jupiter. What about Jupiter? What about it? Can you tell me about it? Let's take a peek here. 1 minute. Really not much of goodness there. 5 minute, maybe rolling over here. Could be suggesting a little more upside price action for today. You're seeing some bull divs paint on your lows, some bear divs paint on your highs, so the chart remains confusing as usual. The fade is okay. All right. Yeah, I think the fade could be done better, but I like the idea. I like the concept. 15 minutes showing a little weakness. Little bit of weakness here. What do we got? 30 minute though. Trending up. This was the stickler. Last stream, the 30 minute literally looked like this. It looked just straight down, bad momentum, and price fell. It fell. It's good to see this little guy showing up here. You have a momentum catch at the 0 line. VWAP is coming down, which could give us maybe a few candles of chilling, a few candles of sideways, maybe floating on back down to like 39.9. Hourly looking so good. Oh, man. Oh, that's actually very nice. Very nice. 30 minute looks strong. Hourly is rolling over. I could see some upside. 2 hour rolling over. Holy. Wait a minute. 4 hour almost. All right. All right. Here we go. Let's get a little short TA in here. I don't like that you already hit the 0.5. That's not ideal. It's not ideal. 618 sits up just under 41K. I think this is a very logical move for today. It's like 40.8. right up to that 618. Let me see. Interesting. I like the condition. It's literally the opposite condition. I know a lot of people are probably looking at this and their brain is showing them this and this. Understandable. When we were back here, though, actually, I think it was down here on the stream, we had the exact opposite signals on the same time frames that we have right now. That led to a dump. Maybe I'm being a little too conservative in my retracement target. Maybe we're going to go a little higher today. A little bit higher. Man, the daily has room all the way to 41.3. You just gotta, like, this is just a repeat of the candle. I don't like that. The market, I think it's baiting me. He's baiting me. The worst thing I think we could see is into the weekend. So Thursday, Friday, the worst thing we could see is like 2 sideways candles and then crap at the end of Friday or Saturday or something like that. Here we are. I'll put on these headphones. Harvesting runts, like the candy. Full bull moon, man. Mitch, you're a runts reviewer. What is, you guys are crazy, man. The aliens are telling us something. What are they telling us? What's up, Philly Skills? Simon, Eric, One with Nature, Me's Cat, Dave, Wick. Who else is here? Pickle, Revy, 12 Big, Mike, Zan. My guy Zan. How you doing? Josh Gann, what's up, man? Josh Gann joining our club. Welcome, Josh. By the way, any new viewers out there, please smash that subscribe button. Join us. Jump in the Discord for all kinds of free perks. It's a good deal. Join our group. We're less of a signals group and more of like a Cryptoholics Anonymous group with some very good core educational stuff to help you get through it. All right, so what do we want to look at? Can we get like some suggestions? What's up, Optic Earth? How you doing, man? Paul V, you're back. Oh yeah. Tito, Nacho, Jack and the Crack. How you doing, dude? Randy, 100 million liquidations. We can look at licks. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. You know what? I didn't even look at. This is what. God, I need like a team of people to do stuff for me. This is what I wanted to look at in the beginning. This was like, I got distracted with the ETFs. I'm terrible, dude. I wanted to talk a lot about the S&P 500 today. Then I got distracted. S&P 500's at new all-time highs. This is what we were going to do. I almost dropped all of the stuff that I prepared. That's okay. Do I think Bitcoin will hit a new all-time high when? I don't know. I didn't see it. I believe it will. How can you see the black charting glasses? You know, after you trade long enough, you're just charting through the heart anyway. Makes it easy. The S&P 500 is blasted to new all-time highs, which I think everyone's sitting here kind of jealously looking at the S&P, maybe kind of wishing it wouldn't do well. Whatever. It's at new all-time highs, and this is an interesting scenario. I'm not sure Bitcoin has ever been in this scenario where we're seeing stocks break out. And Bitcoin kind of non-responsive, not really moving up, not really moving down, just not really responding to it. So I thought it would be a good day. And we are going to do some altcoin charts. My bad. I wanted to do what I prepared. We are going to do some altcoin charts, but I thought it would be cool to look at some things through the lens of the S&P 500. Further proving to you all that all charts are valid, all charts are valuable. Some just more than others. So what we have here is Bitcoin divided by the S&P. It's rounded to just a single number. I could change this, but it doesn't exactly matter. We'll give it 2 decimals. There we go. So Bitcoin divided by the S&P 500. So this is graphing not the dollar value of either of these assets, but their relationship to each other. Interesting or not interesting, the bottom of this chart, right in line with Bitcoin's bottom. We've moved up, and now we have this red month here. It's interesting that this moved roughly exactly to where we were looking on Bitcoin. This would be like 48K right here. This would be April or March of 22's high before retreating. And what we see is it's actually more bearish here than Bitcoin on the monthly. It is bearish engulfed, whereas Bitcoin is not quite yet. That could suggest 2 things. One, Bitcoin doesn't do much and the S&P keeps running, that will drag this chart farther down. If we're going to say it's going to continue bearish. Or Bitcoin could start moving up, just move up slower than the S&P, and that could still drag this chart down. In order for this chart to pump, what we would want to see is either stocks stay sideways or to see them retrace a little bit and have Bitcoin make up the ground. It's not a lot of alpha here. There's not going to be too much, at least from the monthly view. But what I do like is that it's giving us a different picture. This is bearish engulfed. It's saying, well, the Bitcoin trend is not keeping up with the S&P trend right now. On the week, this is pretty cool too. We haven't quite moved down to its previous valuation in November, but this is a very different looking chart. If we look at Bitcoin on the week, which we'll do right here, it's looking a little different. I'd say significantly different. You have this consolidation here, your highs, you came back and you went through your consolidation in October, November, whereas Bitcoin just has these upward candles here. If I were to kind of just swing at this, I would say this looks like it wants to bounce, even if it wants to do this. It looks like it wants to paint a right shoulder. It looks like it's tested support and that it's looking to make that move up. Whereas Bitcoin just doesn't have that here. Doesn't have that support, that liquidity, that the candle closes that we see on the comparison chart. There was some other ones I wanted to do. Let's do gold divided by SPX. Here we go. This gold divided by the S&P 500. And this chart looks like Ripple. Holy hell, what the... This chart looks a lot like Ripple. I guess back in the 80s, gold hit its highest value against the S&P. And since then has painted some doomy looking peaks. Wow, that is ugly. This looks like it wants to go lower too. Interesting that it has almost a similar kind of head and shoulders pattern I was looking for on the previous chart. This looks like it wants to head back to historical lows. Yikes. Yikes. What else can we do? We could do... Yeah, we do dollar divided by SPX, but I don't really know what that will yield. I guess everything divided by dollar over time looks like this, though. Wow, that is tiny. The dollar ever losing the battle against the S&P 500, it seems. Down at lows again. Yep, I'm bored of that already. Let's do altcoins. Vinayak Mara, what's up, my friend? Welcome. We're about to jump into some altcoin charts. Actually, you know what's interesting here? This is total crypto market cap. This looks a lot more like the S&P Bitcoin divided by S&P. You have that consolidation back here and you dropped through it. Keep that on my radar here. I'll keep it on the radar. Where we got? Did I lose it? There it is. All right, so what are we looking at? Let's take a peek. Now I would like some suggestions. We can look at the dollar. Yeah, I'll pull up the dollar while we're chilling here. Dollar struggling. Atom, Xi, VeChain. Where's Voxys? I promised him I would look at it at some point. If he's here, I'll look at it for him. Kulo. Went to the barber shop this time. Yeah. Soul. Love the speed. Thank you, Paul. I sometimes wonder if other people can keep up. SEI. Yeah, SEI. Soul. VeChain. Filecoin. Bear flags everywhere. Bear flags. True. SEI wrecked our little long back there. We'll take a peek here. I don't hate what's going on there, though. I don't hate it. What's up, Bartle? 101, subscribe, and Adam. Pull up Adam. TRB. LTC. Negan, my LTC man. Adam getting on down there. Not quite done. Not quite done on Adam. I'm looking for 8.4. $8.44 on Adam. Got very, very close. Incredibly close. Down to 870. Let's see where we are on the monthly. 927. Dang. Bearish engulfed right off of resistance there. Not the best setup, but this is really what everything looks like kind of at the moment. Lots of things are staring this monthly bearish engulf in the face. That does not look good. On the week, Adam looks not good. I don't like that. This is like a weekly head and shoulders. Dang. I liked it when everything was going up. It was better. It was better that way. I'm looking for 844 on Adam. I think that there's potentially a solid position to be taken there. Ooh. All the charts are sketchy as hell right now. All the charts. Stinky Link, RLC. I know I looked at RLC very recently. I don't even know what it is. Good afternoon, Don. How you doing, brother? How you doing, Don? RLC not looking bad either. Not a lot of history on this guy. RLC actually maybe a strong close today above 225 on the day. That could be pretty good. Let's see what we might have as an upside target then. 350. 350 maybe. Close above 225 and you start heading for 350. I like that. I like it. Battling. 225 is the major point for RLC right now. That's kind of how I see it. IRFC, AXL, Filecoin, Sol. We'll pull up Sol, but I don't think Sol's done anything. I'm waiting for $75 on Sol. It's still slowly loading. Slowly loading. After we failed to hold 100 on Sol, immediately turned to the $75 entry, and we've just kind of been waiting on it. Does look like it's still coming, doesn't it? Slowly loading on the Sol chart. Not the best weekly. The weekly really highlights why I'm looking for that on Sol. Plenty of support here locally on the week. You're just falling, bleeding down to find bids. $75. I'll probably take a long there. 75, maybe look for a stop under 60, 71, 70, something like that, and just retarget back to your highest close, like 110. I think that's a slick trade, actually. That's pretty good. What else we got? What are we looking at? HNT. HNT was moving today. We'll pull it up. HNT. Okay, that's kind of cool. HNT, this, hey Pickle, I don't know if you're paying attention, man, but this is looking a little flaggish, isn't it? Most charts painting the bear flags right now. HNT arguably painting a bull flag here. Highs are coming down, your lows are coming up. Your lows holding at your previous, let's call it support, hit resistance, pulled back, moved up to 9. That's a flag. If you trust flags, I don't. But many people do. No divergence there on your low on the day. Unfortunately, that would have been a great sign. RSI, holy shit. On the week went up to like 91. You're going to have local resistance on the HNT. Right there at $7, just below price. Yeah, if I were to take a stab at a trade here, I'd probably play it this way. The weekly open at 527, untested, putting in lower highs, higher lows, lower highs. Maybe position at 525, just targeting back to $7. You can get a pretty nice risk to reward there. It's a 3-to-1 with the stop just under $5. I like that. I could see that play. I'm putting alert. The blockchain report. Love your channel, brother. Keep up the great work. Hope to hit 100K soon. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Long way to go. Yeah, dude, it's a hell of a journey. Appreciate you.
Love your channel, brother.
Ooh.
Keep up the great work. Hope to see you hit 100K soon. I just hit 1K myself, so I still have a long way to go, lol biceps.
That is the first time that has played in months. That scared the crap out of me. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. It's a long grind, but I don't know. Maybe it's worth it in the end. We'll find out. I'll let you know when I find out there. Third super chat ever. I'll take it. Anti-flags. Why am I anti-flags, man? Oh, yeah, because I said I don't like flags in crypto. AXL, Julian. Do I know what AXL is? Do I even have a chart? I do. I'll pull it up for you. Anti-flag. Neo Trio. Okay. All right. Neo Trio. I have not looked at this in quite some time. Ooh. That's not bad, though. There's definitely a potential play here. I don't think I'm going to take this one, but there is absolutely a play at that previous, it looks like right here, 85 cents coming on back. Just barely missed it. You gotta hope that it actually fills. 86 cents looking pretty ripe there on AXL. That weekly is a little ugly. The weekly is saying, Tom, you need to zoom out before you just randomly slap stuff on charts, bro. 77 cents. So this is what we're looking for on Sol. There's a weekly order block on Sol. It moved up to like 120. It's almost back down. And this one at 77 cents. This is where I would look for a position if I wanted to trade this coin. That order block is going to have cemented in some support. As you moved farther up, you didn't really do that, maybe at $1, but you lost it quickly. I think a retest of 76 may be the high IQ play here. It's close to the 618. Doesn't really match up perfectly. That's okay. I like this. I'm gonna set an alert. I'll see. I'll see it. Kaspa is not looking so hot. Not gonna lie, dude. It's not looking so hot. It really just needs to bounce right here. Like, it absolutely needs to bounce right here. Here's what I don't like about it. So Kaspa is a coin I like. It's just like Bitcoin and Litecoin. It's just proof of work, right? This is what I don't like, though. Right here, you guys remember I made a whole stream about closing my Kaspa position. I sold all my Kaspa on a very specific event. And that event was Binance listing Kaspa as perps. No spot listing, just perpetuals. A lot of the time, especially with low caps, when they're running, when you see a big exchange list perps for them, it tends to kind of fizzle out that momentum. Now, I'm not saying long-term or forever, but clearly that line of thinking played out here. Here's what I like and don't like about Kaspa. One, this is not a great pattern. Your highs are coming down. You're retesting support over and over and over again. It's not a great setup. Good news, at least, is like it is above your point of consolidation before your high. So you could consider this just a back test of previous resistance before looking higher. But literally today, or maybe it was yesterday, Kaspa broke its range low here, just under 9.5 cents. Yes, this long is technically still alive, but my lord, it's not looking so hot, is it? It's not looking so good. After all this time struggling, failing to break new highs, you've finally broken a new low. That's shifting the market. Market structure has shifted. Unless Kaspa can move back above 27, 28 cents, this thing looks like it's just looking for support, so seeking out liquidity. It's not finding enough here, apparently. I would love to have positive things to say about the chart, but it's just not quite where we're at. The good news, I suppose, is if you were looking for a position on Kaspa, it's right at this entry that we placed forever ago. But outside of that, man, it's a little knifey at the moment. You closed your lowest weekly candle last week. You've traded lower than that this week. And if you zoom out and look at the weekly, you might start to see what I'm saying here. On higher time frames, this chart doesn't really have support until it hits 5 cents. It's currently at 10. That's a 50% drop. Doesn't have to happen. If the rest of the market dumps, it probably will happen. But you do have very strong potential future support right there at 5 cents. I bought some back at 10, but now that I'm seeing this, now that I'm looking at this chart, I think I might be targeting that 5. Let me see, 5, yeah, 5-ish. This area down here. I did buy some back, so if it doesn't happen, I don't care. But yeah, I wish this looked better. I really do. I really, really do. Bitcoin. Have you moved it all? No, you haven't. Wow. No wonder no one's here, man. This is some boring shit today. 116. You know what? You know what? We got 500 viewers. Not bad. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate everyone who subscribed and liked in the stream today. I appreciate everyone who goes to the links in the video description and signs up using my link because it helps support the stream. Just like our sponsor, Lux Algo and Femex do. Cost you nothing, typically. Help support the stream. But I've got a lot of other stuff to do. I did a Twitter space earlier. Bitcoin isn't moving. I think we have some limited upside today. It's clearly waiting for the stream to end, but I actually have a bunch of other bullshit I have to take care of. So what we're going to do is we're going to end the stream. I'll see you guys in the Discord. I appreciate you for showing up on this not so spicy day. I hope we brought you some smiles and some laughter and some new haircuts. All right, fam. Thank you all. I will catch you guys on Friday. We're going to have our first, no, not our first. We're going to have another patron night on Friday. Still time to sign up and join us. Invest in yourself, guys. Get in that patron group and let's all win together. See you next time. Crown out.